What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and in this video I'm checking out the Kizer Mini Bay. This is one of 4 knives they recently released under their Serape series. No new models, just a new variation of existing models. The other 3 were the Cormorant, the Original, and the Kizer K. And I went with this one for a couple reasons. The first being the price point. This one was $50, which is almost half of all of the other models and half of 2 of the models. And so the other 3 range from $90 to $129. So this one was significantly cheaper, bought it around the holidays, so it was being price conscious there. But the other reason I picked this one up was it had this flipper tab, which was interesting to me. Flipper itself, not super interesting, but the fact that there's no lock on it and it's double detent, kind of traditional knife, makes it extremely fidgety and fun to open and close. And so if you get the kind of placement of your finger right, you can close it with relative consistency. If you push a little bit higher up on the blade, it's not going to fully close. And even when it doesn't fully close, it's still pretty fidgety because you can just flick it closed the rest of the way by kicking on that flipper tab. And so that works really well. And so even when you get a failure there, it's still fun to fidget with. Now, this is a really compact knife, which is something I'm also interested in. I typically carry a second knife in my 5th pocket just for fun, really. It just gives you an excuse to carry a second knife, but no real reason for it outside of that. But I like to have smaller knives for that reason. And so this one is 2.875 inches closed and has a 1.875 inch blade, bringing the overall length to 4.76 inches. So a really compact knife. Weighs in at 2.04 ounces. Has a 154 cm black coated blade, and they label it as a Wharncliffe over on the website. I'm not sure why, because in my opinion that's clearly a sheep's foot, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they're calling this a modified Wharncliffe for some reason, but definitely looks more like a sheep's foot to me. See the Kizer logo over here, 154 cm stamped right there by the scales. On the back side you have the Mini Bay and the model number stamped right there by the scales. No billboarding or anything like that on the Serape G10 Scales. And it does have a deep carry pocket clip. However, it's not reversible, which is really unfortunate on this knife in particular because it is so lefty friendly. There's no locking mechanism, no deployment method. It's all left or right hand friendly. And so it would have been really nice to have a reversible pocket clip in this case, but unfortunately they did not go that route. No lanyard hole either on this one. I think the other models do have one, which comes in handy for some of the items that come inside of the pouch that it comes with. So if you watch the channel, you know I'm a sucker for pouches. This one came with a cool pouch that's definitely oversized for this particular blade, but probably more in line with some of the others, which are all full-size knives. Now, if you buy a lot of knives, you probably get a lot of these little clamshell cases that carry 1 or 2 knives. A lot of times they'll have a pocket on each side, so you can put 2 knives in there. But nothing super interesting. They went kind of above and beyond on the packaging and branding of this one with this pouch that has that same Mexican blanket pattern on the back and has a lot of different organization pockets. You have this front slide pocket, 2 elastic kind of netted pockets on the side, which this knife actually fits inside of. I don't think any of the other knives would fit in the side pocket, but this one does. And in the front pocket I have a cleaning cloth that came with it. You can see that same Serape pattern on the Kizer logo. So nice touch there. And a lot of different carry options. You have these loops on either end that you can use to attach a strap if you want to carry this as a small sling. You can put a lanyard on here and carry it around your neck. There's also these loops here which you can use to have it sit on your belt. So a lot of different carry options for this small pouch. Has some really nice chunky zippers on the top. It is not YKK, it's not labeled, so I don't know the branding, might be just something they made in-house, but nice chunky, smooth zippers. Has your care instructions and warranty information, all that good stuff. And I think I took out the extra screws. It came with some extra screws as well for it. I have a little organizer tray that I keep all those type of parts in, and so I already put that in there. But inside of here you have a few more kind of freebies. First being the maker ID tag, kind of dog tags shaped, but in that same Serape G10. And on the back it says rule number 9, which if you're not familiar, rule number 9 is always carry a knife. So that's super cool. Another nice touch. Obviously you can see it matches the same G10 that they use for the scales. And then lastly, a bead in, again, that same Serape G10, and kind of useless for this particular knife since there's no lanyard hole, but you can put it on a lanyard and zipper pull or use it on a different knife if you want to. But I really just thought it was a nice touch that they give you all of these different items that all kind of match and go together. The inside is super soft, just like you'd expect in a knife case, so nothing's gonna get scratched up, and has a elastic kind of inner pocket that goes about halfway the length of the pouch. Not sure how well that's picking up, but a lot of organization on there. And cool that you get this little pouch. It's not the best pouch in terms of just carrying what you want. It's kind of cavernous and not super organized inside, but still a lot better than the knife cases that we typically see with a lot of these. The only improvement I would make on it if I were redesigning it would be a loop panel on this front for some Ranger eyes, and having the Kizer logo being a Ranger eye that we can remove and put on other pouches or wherever we want to carry it. But overall, I think it's a really nice package for $50, getting all of these different kind of side items that didn't really need to be thrown in there. They could have just given us a regular cleaning cloth and a regular knife case and called it a day, but they went above and beyond with just kind of matching everything together. And the Mini Bay is just a super fun knife. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's just fun and fidgety, and I'm sure it's going to be one already that's driving my wife crazy with how much I fidget with it, because it's just so easy to sit there and open and close it. One thing I will say to keep in mind is to be careful how you hold it. Because it's smaller, you have I have a tendency to push it into the meat of my thumb here to make sure that it's really secure. And if you do that, you can have the knife close on you. I've had it bite me a couple times. Basically the equivalent of a paper cut, nothing serious, but it would sting for the day, and by the next day I couldn't even find where it got me. But had it happen a couple times, so definitely something to keep in mind. Now when I'm carrying it, I'm a little bit more conscious and it hasn't happened, but when I first got it, it happened, like I said, a couple times in the first couple days. So definitely something to keep in mind. But let me know what you think, both of the Mini Bay and the Serape series in general. Really excited to see this on just kind of a production knife. We've obviously seen tons of customs with this Mexican blanket pattern and scales that you can order for production knives, but not necessarily anything coming out with that scale already installed. And so I'm sure we're going to see more of it because it's really popular right now, but I think this is really well done. The G10 is super smooth, a little bit grippier. I ordered some scales for a different knife in the Mexican blanket pattern, and it's a little bit rougher, a little bit grippier, also G10, but really like the variation. That one also goes a different orientation. This one's more of a horizontal, the other one's a vertical, I guess depending on how you're looking at it. But in any sense, they're a different orientation, and like both of them quite a bit. But let me know, again, what you think of the knife, what you think of the scales down in the comment below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.